Do you prefer to be called Dr. Katherine? I like saying that.
Um, you should say it by all means. I enjoy hearing that because actually finishing the doctorate during the pandemic was so effing anticlimactic. I can't tell you. It was kind of like, yeah, well, no graduation, no nothing. It's like, I guess I'm done. Huh.
Okay, great.
So,
Dr. Catherine
but
is
I prefer, I actually sometimes won't even respond to it because I'm like, oh, who are they talking about? But um, either whatever you feel comfortable with is good.
okay, great. I like to give respect. I mean, if someone's any kind of doctor, I think it's a really big deal. You went to school forever and people should call you
Forever.
doctor.
Yep, yep, yep.
So the question I have been opening up with, it's kind of like a tripod of questions where essentially it all points back to how do you relate to God? So I love to know what people call God, how you currently commune with God, and what is your current relationship to God. So I toss them out there as all three so you could do with them whatever you want.
Wow, so you just dive right into the shallow end, huh?
That's what I do.
Wow, so, you know, I have dipped my toe into just about every religion you could possibly imagine. And as a result, as I think happens with a lot of people, I've just come up with my own, landed on what feels spiritually connected, divine to me. And so, I use God and goddess interchangeably. And I kind of think about it as all that is. I
Hmm.
think that God is us and we are God. But I do believe that there's something, some kind of divinity, some kind of something out there in the universe that, while being a part of us, is also more than us.
Mm-hmm.
And I do actually fall into the school for, selfish reasons or not, of believing that that energy is beneficent. I feel supported by it.
Nice.
And I feel like it holds a lot. And it's there if I need it, and it's there if anyone else needs it. Um, I have a hard time imagining my life without um, this presence of
Right.
God, right? In me, around me, for other people. Um, it's so much a part of my worldview, my existence, why I exist, that I don't, and I have a damn good imagination, and I can't imagine my life without it at all.
I'm so with you on that. And I've been asking people this question all year. And I think you're the first person that said that, but it's such a good point. Like my life, like it just feels like it would go from, like at the end of the Wizard of Oz, when Dorothy like goes into Technicolor or whatever, or the beginning, I guess she goes from black and white into Technicolor when she gets to Oz. That's what it would feel like going back to black and white to me.
Right. Another way that it would feel like to me is when I was younger, considerably younger, and I didn't have a relationship with God or understand God, I was freaking terrified of dying. Like I was
Oh,
kind of possessed by a fear of dying.
wow.
Like I would think about it and like I had a physical feeling like my heart froze in my chest. Like it was all so scary. And I feel like I go back to that frozen heart, just absolutely
You know what this
the
is?
opposite of what God is to me.
Yeah. This is making me think of, sorry, I had my eyes closed. I didn't realize you were still talking. Sometimes I listen better with my eyes closed. Not always
Me
great
too.
to see if
Me too.
someone's still saying something.
I
Um,
get it.
Many years ago, what year was this? It was the year, I believe it was right around Hurricane Sandy. So it had to be the end of 2012. I was still living in downtown Manhattan. And my mom's Aunt Fran, who was her godmother, passed away in Brooklyn. And I couldn't I couldn't get to the funeral. It was literally just like getting from Manhattan to Brooklyn because of the storm had been a whole thing. And my mom was really upset. And this comes from like a Catholic perspective, right? But at that point, I had already like kind of transitioned out of religion into a more like a broader, more spiritual, mystical concept. And especially around like death and dying and people, and how just because someone's gone, they're not gone, like they're still around and all these things. And I just remember feeling like it, I understand how important that ceremony is for some people. And for me, I was like, I just don't feel the need for that, to attend that, because a death of the physical is a birth into the new relationship we get to have with these souls. And, I didn't say that to my family because they're not, that would not be, it's just not kind to throw shit like that at people when they're grieving. But it's so interesting. Like what you were saying, this relationship to bigger things, to harder things, to more challenging things. I can't imagine how people navigate those things when they don't believe that there's something much larger, mysterious, and benevolent holding them, or holding all of it together somehow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's at the heart of belonging too, right? And so, yeah, it's amazing how easily I can like I can remember that feeling, and how it's far away, and I'm just really grateful that the course of my life opened up better options than that for
Right.
me.
And how did you discover the better options from that place?
I mean, we'd have to have a lot of time because it keeps happening, right? And I'm
I get it. I
58
get it.
years old. So it started happening in little ways and big ways. Um, my history as a child and onward is like nightmare stuff, like super trauma, super chaos. So one of the ways I think is that I lived. I lived, right? But there are so many ways that have happened throughout my life, right? I'm 58 years old, and things have probably something happened yesterday that reminded me that the divine is all around and including in me. Um, it's taken with a little bit different kind of perspective. Age gives you perspective, but experiences that I've had with the dream world, mystical experiences that I've had, psychedelic experiences that I've had, religious experiences that I had, even though I've abandoned a lot of those things that I dipped my toe in a quest really to know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I got something out of it, and you know, so I think we're reminded all the time.
Yeah.
And it's, now it feels like a surrendering process. The older I get, I think that my final moment will be having absolutely surrendered to it. And then I become with it in a different way.
I love that.
Um, and that frozen heart that I was talking about from way back, that's the opposite of surrender,
Totally.
right?
Because it's that fear just makes us want to control everything.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. This is amazing. Thank you for sharing all that. I love, and I, during the pandemic, one of the things that I really like just sunk into and let be kind of the core of my identity is being a mystic.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to see, I like to observe and really watching how some people were reacting and responding and behaving during the pandemic. I was like, wow. Like one of the things I always say is you never know who someone is until there's a conflict, like in any kind of relationship, whether it's personal, professional, romantic. And I feel like on a societal level, we got to discover who people really are because there was like the ultimate conflict, like the ultimate threat, like so much that none of us have ever dealt with before, especially in the age of social media. where anyone has a microphone about it. So um, it was just really fascinating to me to see people who I actually thought were quite connected to God, who like talk about it, who come forth as very like religious or spiritual or whatever. In some cases, being the people having the biggest meltdowns, being the shittiest to other human beings. It was just wild.
Yeah, people really, I think when people talk about, the psycho spiritual language of the veil thinning,
Yes.
right? And people talk about that, and it's like this beautiful transition. And actually, it's when we get to see what's really what. And it's not necessarily pretty at all. And for sure, that's what was going on during the pandemic, right? I mean, at the very beginning, I did some really crazy things. Like, not crazy, like hurtful, but like just like panicky.
Yeah.
It was pretty weird for all of us, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I never imagined it. Like I said, I've been alive for a while. I never imagined it in all of my lifetime that that would happen, that we'd all be like, and you can't go out.
Yeah.
And this person that you live with, who you're used to leaving the house every day, waving bye-bye, they're going to stay here with you,
All day,
all
every
day,
day.
every day. Like, yeah, you think you're a good parent? Okay. How's about you stay with your kids all day, every day? You want to see yourself? Here you go.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It's still crazy. It's
It,
still crazy.
what do you think is still crazy?
I think that there was enough we took enough of a shake that there are parts of us that want to go back to normal and parts of us that are like, there was nothing normal. And so there's that kind of cognitive dissonance,
Yep.
right, inside of us. In Jungian terms, I call it the tension of the opposites, right, where we want to go back and we want everything to change, and we're waiting for whatever that transcendent function is, right, whatever's going to come up out of the middle, and we've never been here before.
Right. And so this goes back to that thing you were saying about like that frozen heart and the control, because when you've never been somewhere before, there are no maps.
Right.
And people really want to know that the way they're doing it is right and best, but we don't know what that is. That's hard.
Mm-hmm. This is when the surrender process comes in really handy.
Seriously. Big time. Okay. You do all these different cool things. What's your favorite part of what you do to talk about? Or what are you like most lit up about and excited for right now in your work world?
I'm going to say two. So, three. I'm going to say that the dream work is my foundation. It just is. It's my it's a part. If I was to make a religion
Yeah.
out of my thing, my way of being in the world, like that's like the heart of it. And so that underlies everything. And I've been looking at dream work, mysticism, and psychedelic experiences for almost 2 decades now. The overlap and how it affects humanity and the indigenous roots and the whole thing. So that's the foundation. So here's the two things that I'm most lit up about right now. One, empowered aging. I get so excited. I feel like my skin is electrified. Um, I feel all the other women who are near, around my age, and older who are similarly feeling called, who are similarly rejecting, patriarchal, ageist, sexist, ableist, blah, blah, like all the ideas that are utter bullshit about aging. They're feeling the rejection. they're feeling activated crone or, archetypal matriarchal energy in themselves.
Mhm.
And I love just banging the drum for them and
Yep.
just calling them in and just telling them how needed we are. Like, we
Yeah.
don't have to wait till we're dead to be the good ancestors. How's about we do it while we're alive?
Yeah.
So that one is like, I'm on fire for that.
I love
The
that. And
other,
that's how I found you because our mutual friend, Heather Lindeman, who's been on the podcast, and Heather is a dear one of mine for many years now. I was like, I need someone like crone-ish. I just like crave elders, like, and someone who is, like you're saying, rejecting. I refuse to age like this as I get close to 40 and I'm so pissed that I'm not even 40 yet. I want people to look up to who are like, no, F all of that. This is how
right,
you do this. This is how you march on in your life and enjoy and
right,
use this incredible gift that you get to keep on living.
right. Because I lived, right? And that's what I was saying about one of the best ways that I know
Yeah.
God. Because I lived, right? And I'm
Yeah.
still living and experience. And the thing is that, and I want you to hear this because it's in me and it's through me, and I'm talking to so many women. We are hungry to be leaned against.
Oh, God.
We've been relegated to invisible, embarrassing, hag like, silly. I mean, all these things. In truth, we've got roots and branches, and we're like, come on, sisters, we can hold you.
Yeah.
Like, we're here. And so I hear what you're saying a lot. Like, there's a lot of talk about the mothers, right? The movement from maiden to mother and the mothers. Who the F are the mothers leaning on?
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
Who? And you know what I mean by mother. You don't have to have a baby,
Right.
right? You know, it's just insane that that we've been relegated to the shadows, and we're powerful, right? And steady. And we see through the bullshit and we
Yeah.
speak truth to power. And here we are. And then there's all these women who need us. And it's really just going to be a matter of the first time I ever talked about getting into the whole empowered aging thing, it was actually uh, I think you know her, Sarah Durham.
Yeah.
Dunham, Durham.
Sarah Durham Wilson.
Yes, she and I were talking, and she said, "You have to do something about this." And she actually is the one who lit the fire under my butt to do my first empowered aging workshop for
That's
women.
awesome.
And the truth is that I can't stop now.
Great. Thank
And
you.
when
She
I
was on
was
the
talking,
podcast earlier this year. Thank you, Sarah.
yeah, yeah. And when I talk about this and when I have visions about this, which I have visions about a lot of things and I close my eyes a lot too, I see a white-haired army.
Mm.
Like they are like fierce, and I see them
Oh,
and
that
I
makes me want to
feel
cry.
them. Yeah, I feel them. I feel them. It makes me want to cry too.
I love that. I want a white-haired army.
We're here.
You're right, because this mother phase, and that's what I like about Sarah's work. I love talking about like the archetypal, like the maiden to mother. I've been a
Mhm.
mother for many years, and I don't have kids. And one of the reasons I don't
Right.
have or want kids is so I can help mother the mothers
Right.
of
That's
kids.
right.
Like I
Right.
love being an auntie. I love being in my friends' villages and having all these little nieces and nephews, one biological and the rest just my friends' kids. But yeah, yo, who's holding the mothers? I love it. Thank
Yeah.
you. The freaking
Yeah.
white haired army. So, and
Yeah.
then, all right. So, empowered aging, you said dreamwork is the foundation of everything. And then
Yeah.
there's
For the other
empowered
thing.
aging. And then what's the other thing?
The other thing is that right now I am developing a training where I want to train psychologists, social workers, coaches, and whoever the heck else wants to take a training to help people who want to take psychedelics. They need to be properly prepared and they need help integrating, and I've designed a very specific way of helping them integrate their experiences that's a lot like the dream work, because my all of my studies and experiences say dreaming in these psychedelic experiences have a lot in common, right? So I've
Yeah.
developed a very particular method of helping people integrate their psychedelic experiences and a way of helping people prepare. And look, the psychedelic revolution's not coming, it's already here,
It's
right?
here, big
Our
time.
our medical system is broken, just like broken, right? The socioeconomics of it, the training of practitioners, like there, it's just broken.
Yeah.
I would love to say everyone's going to come to these medicines out of some kind of spiritual, psycho-spiritual calling. No, people are going to come out of effing desperation, and they
Yeah.
are coming out of
Yeah.
desperation. And if they're not prepared properly and they don't get the proper integration, there's pitfalls, right? And so I want to talk about ethics and I want to talk about set and setting. And so I'm designing this program, this training program for people who want to help people who come to them and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about taking some mushrooms, or I'm thinking about DMT, or I'm thinking about LSD," or all the different things, which are all great in their way, done in the right way. They don't go, "Well, I don't know anything about that, sorry." I want them to know something about
I
that.
love
So
this.
that's the training I want to develop. And I want to bring my depth psychological training to it, right? And I want to, and my doctorate is in mind body medicine. I want to bring a holistic, and I want to bring my life, which has looked at, everything from, voodoo to evangelism to, and respect for the indigenous roots of this stuff. And so I'm working on that, and that's like my big work right now is I want to make that available for people who want to help.
I love this so much for a couple different personal reasons. Number one, this thing about being prepared. When I lived in Southern California, specifically San Diego, I was in North County, San Diego, has a lot of similarities to the Bay Area in that a lot of like Burning Man people, people who are really fancy themselves, like I'm putting this in air quotes for anyone who's listening, not watching, like conscious spiritual people. There's a lot of people who like say those things and talk the talk and wear mala beads and whatever else they wear and look away, but are not integrating anything and are not prepared for these peak experiences that can occur when you engage with psychedelics or plant medicines or whatever. And I dated one of those people. I remember literally, I was talking to someone about this the other day because she had an experience with someone she dated. I remember summer 2014 waving goodbye to him as he went to Burning Man, and something in me knew I would never see that person again. And I didn't. He came back. He had done so many combinations of God knows what. And and something had happened. Like to this day, like I still will never know if it was like a chemical imbalance or a psychotic break or what. And then and I didn't know this for months. And I was living with him. Again, I'm putting this in air quotes because no one was monitoring or helping figure out dosage, was microdosing LSD. And it just felt like constant, like these swings up and down. I was like, I don't know what is going on. Like, I'm not a psychologist. Is this a personality disorder? Is this just trauma work? I don't know. But to be under the roof with it was actually quite traumatizing for me as a highly sensitive person, and also just like the behavior of that person. And also in that community, I would just see so many people. Everyone was like going to Peru to do ayahuasca, and then they would come back and regale you with the stories of the experience. And I would always watch a couple weeks, a couple months later, was their life any different? Were they behaving any differently? Was anything better? And far more often than not, it wasn't. And so I think this prep, this integration, making sure people have the psychological infrastructure to even touch those peak experiences
Right.
is so
Right.
valuable.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm hearing about people who are doing, you know, 5, 10 ayahuasca sessions in a row. And I'm like, huh, that's really interesting. Why?
Why?
Why? Yeah. And I'll just leave that
And
there.
who's, we have living room shamans now. A lot of people aren't going to Peru. They're going. I went on a date with someone a couple months ago who was just telling me about this ayahuasca weekend he went to. It sounded like a fucking retreat. And I was like, oh my goodness. And listen, I know that there are deep practitioners and amazing space holders,
Yep.
but
Lots.
I have to believe that those who aren't packaging up ayahuasca weekends. Maybe, maybe not. But the way he
What?
talked about it, I was like, ooh, just made me very nervous.
Right. And here's the thing that also is happening. There are a lot of good intentioned and
Mm-hmm.
capable people of administering and sitting with these medicines, and they are so bombarded by the need.
Yeah.
They have wait lists for 3 years,
Mm,
and they want someone else to help. They aren't necessarily prepared to say, based on these previous psychological issues that you've had, I don't think that this is a good time for you to do this,
mm.
right? They're being stretched and stressed. And so I have so much hope for what can happen in the world with these medicines. Like I have really personal experience, family members, myself that have done incredible healing that I know as a talk therapist, I wouldn't have been able to get through for 2, maybe 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's incredible because hurt people, right?
Yep.
And there's a lot of hurt people out there right now hurting people. And
Yep.
if we could get them faster, more, you know, deeper, wiser kinds of help like that, I mean, it could change the whole world. But like big pharma's just sitting right there waiting to take control of this, right? And people are desperate and growing mushrooms in their closet. And, there's just like all this stuff. So I'm just hoping with whatever I've got that I can lend a little framework for people so that they can get whatever healing is available to them, whatever growth is
Yep.
available to them out of these medicines and not hurt
Mm-hmm.
and not lost and not deceived.
Yeah. I have a couple of friends right now who are, facilitators and practitioners and healers that are being called to work with people specifically with mushrooms, and I'm like, yes, people should get to sit with these folks who have been holding space for people in other contexts for so long. So amazing. Did I tell you in any of the times that we've talked about my accidental mushroom experience in 2020?
I don't think so.
I ate a piece of chocolate in a friend's fridge that I didn't know
Uh,
was mushrooms.
yeah, you know what you did. Yeah, that's always, and that's the other thing. And I'll talk about this in the whole preparation thing. Like a lot of these drugs now are being packaged in ways. The whole dosing thing. Again, this could go on
There's so
forever.
much.
But yeah, you can eat a piece of chocolate, and the next thing you know, you're tripping. Like, what do you do with that?
It was amazing. Well, I was so lucky. And I love the way life works because in retrospect, that was coming for me no matter what. Because my friend had like made a video tour of her house for me. I was going to be staying at my friend's house and I was getting there because it was like high COVID times. This was like August 2020. So like they had quarantined so then they could go visit her parents. So they left before I got there so we wouldn't overlap. And then it was so funny. But when she told me, when she was like showing me like the kitchen and the fridge, she's like, and these chocolates are magical. And because I didn't have the lingo, I didn't realize that that was her way of letting me know that it was mushrooms. Like the word magical to me meant these chocolates are delicious and you need to try one.
Right. Right.
And then her partner had actually drawn on the lid, like wrote something on the lid. But what happens when you open a lid? You like put your hand on it. So I didn't see it. So there were literally two unclear warnings. So like that was going to happen. It was just so funny. And like an hour later, I'm in the shower and I'm like, uh-oh, what was in the chocolate? But their house was like such a temple. So I spent like the first 30, 40 minutes, or who knows, in mushroom time. It could have been an hour or 2 seconds, like scurrying around the house to find little items to make an altar so I could set some intentions. And I actually texted Heather, my brother, and one other person. I was like, so this is happening. If any of you want to just like say some prayers for me. And then I just surrendered. And it was this incredible experience that I never would have signed myself up for, but obviously needed to have.
Right, right. And that's, and there are distinctions too, because there's that kind of set and setting and accidents and things, but there's also like really therapeutic ways to
Yes.
approach these, right? Like you can go in and be like, I'm tired of continuously acting this way in my relationships, and I would like to see what's underneath it
Mm.
and how I'm sabotaging my relationships. I'm tired. And you can ask, right? And this is the same thing I say with the dreams, right? You can ask. You have to be ready. And it's not always what you want, but but you can ask, and you can ask for healing, and you can ask for growth. And and that whole process, when you're in it, that's something that also you need like a really gifted and called kind of person to sit with you and hold you to your intentions and exploring those instead of going and taking a 3-hour shower, right? And so and that's where I'm staying out of that lane, right? That's not my lane. I want to train people to help people get ready, and I want to train people to help people integrate, and whoever they go to find their medicine and have their experience. That's not the thing that I want to offer, but that's something also that's I will emphasize in the preparation. It's really, really important.
Yep.
And like you're somebody who could do it by yourself, right? But not everybody can do it by themselves. Right?
I have since had a facilitated experience that was amazing. Like to have the space held with the medicine, game
Yep.
changing.
Yep. Life changing.
Yeah.
Really.
So how do I want to phrase this? I'm super curious because so you mentioned some other things. Obviously, that's mushrooms. So for anyone who's like kind of unfamiliar, this is cool. I've never had a chance to ask anyone this before. For anyone who's kind of unfamiliar with these different psychedelics, would you be able to give kind of like an overview, like DMT, LSD, mushrooms, ayahuasca? What's kind of like the different intelligences or the different nature of these different medicines?
Uh, they're going to get that in my training.
I don't mean like a training, but if there's like a
Right.
90-second, like why someone might want this one versus that one.
Well, there's like personal, depending on what someone's psychological history is, they may or may not want to do different ones like LSD or ayahuasca. Um, there are how much time you want to put into something,
Mm-hmm.
what kinds of questions and intentions you're bringing to it. Like there's something called the toad. It's like 5-AO DMT, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I can't. It's amazing. It's really amazing, and it's kind of like ayahuasca, except that it only lasts 20 minutes,
Yeah.
right? And so But they call it the God molecule because you definitely reach an expanded state of consciousness. Like all of these are about that, right? Excuse me, at a certain level, it's about, you know, getting out of your own way. It's about losing your habitual consciousness and all of the
Mm.
onion peel layers of crap that we have on all over ourselves based on living here and now, right? And it's about getting in touch with a more unified field and view of humanity. It's all of them pretty much are going to give you that. Um, so the differences are really going to be more about your intention, how who's going to hold you and how, set and setting, what you're called to.
Mm-hmm.
That makes a difference too. Like, what are you curious about? What feels, you know, because there are really amazing experiences that you can get out of all of them. I will say, not as someone who has studied, I don't know if I'll call myself an expert, but I'm an expert in my own life. And I can say that based on people that I've worked with and guided in my own experiences for healing trauma and complex trauma, um, mushrooms and MDMA should be available to everyone.
Wow.
With MDMA, and again, these things have to be really held, especially if you've got complex trauma that you're trying to work through, right? But like, this is why I want psychotherapists to learn about this, the two sides of this, because maybe they can help people. But you know, MDMA, when you're under the influence of a pretty good dose in a therapeutic setting, really doesn't, your brain doesn't really have the capacity for shame or judgment.
Mm.
Imagine the healing. Imagine the places that people could explore that they can't explore because of, you know, all of the protections that have been put in place.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, with the right person and this particular psychedelic in your system, that you can visit, that you can heal, that you can remove the shame from, and you don't forget, right? So most of these experiences, they're not like an alcohol blackout, right? That you do crazy things and then you don't remember what happened. It's a dual state of consciousness, just like the dream work. Again, there's so much overlap. And you get work done that you remember and that you can even practice afterwards, and it's embodied and it's somatic, and that makes it more lasting.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I have complex trauma, and in the facilitated experience that I did, one of the pieces that I'm happy to share was I was laughing hysterically for 10 minutes because I was literally being shown these like attachments and these little like it was just being illuminated for me, all these things that I actually don't need to care about, that I don't
Uh-huh.
need to be attached to. And even little like whys, like you don't always get to know why certain things happen, but I was enlightened with a few reasons why for certain things. And I was like, ah, this is hilarious. Like for whatever
Right.
reason, it struck me as just like hilarious how some of the hardest shit for me to let go of with all my conscious tools, right? And my consciousness, like I like how you said dual consciousness. So like in this expanded state, but still my regular consciousness hasn't gone anywhere, being like, oh, and for whatever reason, it just struck me as like hilarious because people are so hilarious. Like it's actually so predictable, but it's also so unbelievable at the same time that we really confuse the shit out of ourselves and each other. So just like having all of that kind of illuminated for me around a couple of things, I was just rolling. And again, in the warped time, it felt like 2 minutes.
Right.
But afterwards, my people were like, no, it was 10 minutes. It was 10 minutes straight that you did not stop laughing.
Right. Right. And that actually happened to me the first time I ever took ayahuasca. I just rolled over all the things I thought were so earth-shattering and important and traumatizing, or at least important, and I just left. So I can totally relate to that. On the other hand, and I've shared this recently in a podcast, so I feel okay saying it. So I have complex PTSD. I have childhood sexual trauma in my background, and I've done a lot of work to heal it, right? And that's stuff, that's work that goes on for a lifetime. But recently, in a therapeutic psychedelic setting, I was able to. I had done a lot of healing without ever remembering this specific event.
Mm.
My psyche had allowed me to acknowledge that the event happened so that I could empathize and love and heal with myself and my child. But during this particular journey, I actually was able to revisit the event, which I never thought I would do or want to do, and come in. So the child me that this terrible thing was happening to was there, and I was able to come in as my adult me with a big ass sword and just,
Amazing.
you better believe it was some kind of amazing. Still, I say that and I'm like, you know, all of a sudden, like, parts of you that freeze there, right? Even if you've been freeing yourself for your whole damn life, like, can come away because they see, like, that dude's dead. He doesn't even have a head, right? And so it's just, and that is, I mean, I've been able to do that kind of work with people psychotherapeutically, just talk therapy. On average, you know how long it takes? 3 years.
Wow.
From the first time a person who has that kind of trauma walks in the door to the point that we can get that kind of healing. 3 years.
Yeah.
That session was probably 4 or 5 hours.
It's amazing. And I'm feeling through that share, I really am feeling like what you keep saying, the overlap between the dream work and this work. Because something that's happened for me over the years, several times in my dreams that I cherish, is an opportunity to just lay into people who have harmed me, just scream at them, just say all kinds of shit I would never actually say to another human being.
Mm-hmm.
But in the dream space where it, air quote, wasn't real. And then you wake up, I woke up feeling like, wow, I got to say all the things. And it was just so cathartic. This happened to me with four different people in my life.
Yeah. So, Elizabeth, this is where I think our work overlaps the most. Because the reason that I think that it's so cathartic, even when you're awake, is because of there's an embodied piece to it.
Yeah.
Right? And that, you know, for the people who need science, that's where it is, right? Because the science is that when your body understands something, it sends a message to your brain that changes the way that your brain is wired to respond to certain events, period. And so this is why when I guide people to share embodiments with dream images, or this will be a part of the integration of psychedelic experiences, the program that I've developed, the embodiment piece, they're being given, and you are being given in your dreams, an opportunity to process things in an embodied way. I wouldn't be surprised if you're even making noise out loud in those dreams.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we're so resourced. that's where I land all the time as I talk about this stuff, the mystical stuff and the dream stuff and the psychedelic stuff. We're just so resourced.
I love that. And this is why I love
We just
embodiment so
remember.
much. I just opened up a container at the time of recording this. I think it's like about maybe a month and before the interview comes out. But I just opened up my self love immersion yesterday. And one of the things I was saying to the women is do the embodiment practices because you might not know what you're moving, but I promise you, you're going to move shit
Mm.
and then you're going to feel differently. And thank you for giving that like scientific, when your body understands something, it sends a message to your brain. So your brain can now respond to things differently or function around this thing differently. It's just so amazing. And, all these other things. I forget. Are you a Virgo too? Did we discover that?
I'm a Virgo.
So this is why we love this too, because this shit is efficient.
Yes. Yes.
It's so efficient.
Yes. Yes. And also like knowing that there are resources and you can go there and get them.
Yes.
It's like, and
So practical. It actually is as
it's so
mystical and
practical.
esoteric as it is. It's quite practical.
It's quite practical. And, you know, I laugh because, I went and I got the master's and I went and got the PhD, and the rest of my life is going to be about unlearning everything I ever knew. It really is, you know, it
It's
really is.
funny. I started a master's. It spit me out in 3 months. I didn't even finish the first semester. I was like, I'm not doing this.
Mhm.
Life like took me, put me somewhere else and went, this would be a better path for you. And I was like, twist my arm. Fine. I won't spend
Right,
another however many tens of thousands of dollars
right,
to get
right.
this. But I believe, and I'm pretty sure you would probably agree, but let me know if you don't, that nothing is a mistake.
No, no, I'm not in any way, shape, or form saying it was a mistake to do those things. It was a practice.
Yep.
And and not or, and now I need to forget a lot of it and get out of my own way and just allow until
Yeah.
I allow myself right into the ether.
Yeah.
Right. And hopefully that's going to be like 40 years from now because I still have a lot to do and I'm excited about a lot of things, as you can see.
That's amazing. So, complete topic change. Did you tell me you were moving to Spain?
Yeah.
I'm so jealous. Where?
Barcelona. I'm moving to Barcelona in 2 years. It is a shift that actually is a good one. So for the past 3 years, I've been laser focused on buying a property not in Barcelona, in this incredible place called Cadaqués, Spain, and opening a dream sanctuary and a wellness retreat.
Mm,
And I was just like, that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to figure out how to raise funding, and I'm going to get my pitch deck, and I was like ready to go, right? And right around Christmas time last year, I had kind of set up funding, found the property, had like all the excitement around me. I was ready to go. I had done it essentially. And three things happened. I had a health scare, and I'm a cancer survivor, and I'm fine, but it scared the hell out of me. And it was the first time that I really had to come to terms with, you know what, you crazy, you're not ever going to be the same as you were before you had cancer. So cut it out. You've
yeah.
got this much life left. Like, take care of yourself. Two, my relationship was already suffering from my trying to do this thing. And it really hit me that if I marry this business, my marriage probably won't survive it.
Mm,
There was that. Three, I was teaching the embodied imagination stuff. I mean, not embodied, the empowered aging stuff. And I realized for the next 10, from age 60 to 70, if I do this, I'm going to be working my ass off. This is like a hotel business. I'm going to be working so hard. And all of a sudden, I was like a bride with cold feet.
mm,
And I my inner child kind of took part in this too, because there was this thing like, why do you have to keep doing the next really fucking hard thing, Catherine? You
Yeah.
don't have to. You don't have to. You're going to be holding to these clients and beholding to these investors, and you only have so much life left, and you got a great husband, and what. And I just, in that moment, I was literally, it was the morning I was going to have a meeting with someone who I was paying well to help me get the whole thing going. I got on a Zoom with her, tears running down my face, and I said, I'm not going to do this.
Oh my God. How did it
I'm not
feel? Was
doing
it
it.
so liberating? I mean, I understand how hard, but like ultimately,
It
was
was
it just,
so hard on the one hand, the words out of the mouth, I'm not going to do this. That was the hard part. After that, my feet still aren't touching the ground
that's amazing.
because I sent myself the message, you don't have to do the next hard thing.
Yes.
My new mantra is about grace and ease, and I still want to do big things. I still am passionate. I still have a calling, but geez, like buying a big old piece of land and turning it into a hotel, like, and I really didn't get it up until that moment that I said I'm not going to do this. I really didn't get it, and so, but I love Spain, and I still believe that I can live out my calling to offer dream sanctuary all over Europe. I just can go to places that other people run.
Right. I love that.
Right. And so, and it's also just about like being a crone who's like, yeah, I can just go do, be, joy, live, love, adventure. Like I'm just doing it. And I have a great partner, and yeah, I'm moving to Spain in 2 years.
Oh my God. Spain is my favorite country. I love it so
It's
much.
amazing. It's
That's
amazing.
amazing. And I love that. Yeah, finding the ease. In 2020, I picked my 4 words for the year were miracles, grace, ease, and flow.
Yeah.
And what a year to be leaning into miracles, grace, ease, and flow.
Right.
So I'm with you on that. I love like why we do not need to go the hard routes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that I do think that the pandemic did put a dent in grind culture because we were stuck at home. And that's good. That feels really healthy to me.
Big time. And I was actually talking to a friend about this the other day, how pre-pandemic it was easy. It was like this like kind of daunting thing for people to request if they could work remotely, even like 1 or 2 days a week. And often something that would get rejected. But now no one can reject it because people had to do it and the world still went on. So people know it works.
Yeah.
So that's an incredible. I have a friend who works for a production company and in Los Angeles, and they keep asking, "Oh, so you gonna come into the office this week?" She's like, "No," because she doesn't like she did her job just as effectively for 2 years without going in, and she's like, "Why would I go back? Why would I wear regular pants again?"
Yep. Yep. Yeah. So that piece is great, right? There were some chinks taken out of the whole
Yeah.
colonialist playbook.
Yeah. And obviously, we know that not everyone had the luxury during that time of having a job that could be done remotely.
No,
So, of course, we're speaking
no,
about things that could be. Some things will
of
just
course.
always be hands on.
Yeah, I mean, I should just preface everything that I say, like, and I'm speaking out of a position of incredible privilege.
Yes. 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 Anything I didn't ask you that you were like hoping we would talk about and we didn't get to it?
It doesn't, I just love talking to you because it doesn't feel like being interviewed. It just feels like fun and,
Yeah.
that we're interested in the same things or similar things. I want to share with you how giddy I am about the fact that um, when I was finishing up my PhD, I was like, I wanted to gift myself when I finally finished it with this trip to Egypt that my friend Dee does. She takes people on these sacred initiation tours of Egypt. She's been doing it. She's a high priestess. She's been doing it for 16 years. She is amazing, like all that. And I didn't do it for myself, but I really have always had my eyeballs on it. And a few months ago, she invited me to go on the tour as a co-facilitator leading Dream Sanctuary for the people who are on the tour who are doing all these initiations as they go through all the sacred sites. So I'm going to be going to do that in September for 2 weeks. There's 5 spots left.
That is amazing.
So I hope you don't mind if I said that, but
Please. I was thinking about, you and my friend Asha, who's also been on the podcast, are both leading trips to Egypt, which is a place I am so called to go to. And for whatever reason, the timing and whatever, I'm like, these are not my trips and this is not the year, but
yeah,
it's poking at me. So
yeah.
maybe
And
you'll
it
keep
needs to
doing
be
that.
that. It needs to be that. I hope I keep doing that. I mean, Dee is really leading it. I just feel so, so, so lucky to be going, and I'm going to bring my all for those people who
It's going
want
to
to
be
have the Dream
amazing.
Sanctuary experience too.
Oh my goodness. And I mean, that just really sounds incredible because I have friends who have gone and who have actually shared the experience, like the dreams they were having when they were there.
Right. I'm so excited.
We'll have to catch up after that because that is going to be
Yeah.
epic.
Yeah,
But
that
thank you. All right. Where do you want people to go to find you if they want to know more about all of these amazing things that we have been talking about?
dreamsheal.com.
Love it.
So
And
easy.
your Instagram is just Dr. Katherine Lawson, right?
Yep, at Dr. Katherine Lawson.
Great. And we'll put all this will be in the show notes as well. Thank you so much. I'm so glad we got to do
Thank
this.
you. Is there anything I can do for you?
This was it. Thank you for your time, for your wisdom, and really like I think I don't know that I knew that you were 58. Like I just cherish being able to speak with people who have been on the earth longer than I have and do this kind of work because it's so hard. And you all started before it was like a relatively acceptable thing to be doing.
Yeah.
You had to go
It's
through
still hard
hurdles
sometimes. Oh yeah. Yeah,
that
it's still hard
I
sometimes.
don't, we will all have hurdles, but you've had to go through things that I did not have to. And part of why I don't have to is because you all did it. So thanks.
Right. Right. We'll have another talk about what it's like trying to do things when you're talking about woo and you're attractive and brown.
Girl.
Let's go there. Another talk.
Interview number 2 coming
Yeah.
2020. Yeah, it's I will talk to you about that privately in sessions, and then we could talk
Yeah.
about it.
Reach out, woman.
Amazing. I will talk to you again soon.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you.